Okay, set of the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Matthew Barry, I'm Jay Crouch. We got two stars from the Cincinnati Bengals, Alex Cappa, Ted Karras. Looking on the screen at some of the Bengals' offensive ranks. Great season on offensively, ranked first in the NFL in passing yards. How are you guys enjoying New Orleans?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Radio Row's always a great time.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little consolation for not playing. It's a fun time. It's like a convention in here.
Ted shines on Radio Row, dude. He's a social butterfly. He can kill it around here.
And do you need that? Like, are you not? Like, is he like your wingman, so to speak, all jokes aside?
Oh, he's 100% my wingman.
Yeah.
It's good. He breaks the ice, and then I can come in and trickle where I need to, you know?
Literal wingman in this
Literal
case.
wingman. Yeah, I usually break the ice, and then Cap can corral everyone, bring us back down to some. I had some manic idea.
I won't let him go off the rails. You know, we'll be all right.
Well, I know that Joe Burrow is coming tomorrow for Radio Row. Has he called you guys? Like, I might need protection as well because I feel like that guy gets swarmed everywhere he goes.
Something tells me he's going to be all right around here. I think we'll have a crew taking care of him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm in and out, so yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a madhouse tomorrow with Joey B walking around.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Bengals season here for a little bit. We saw Chase Brown break out, in part because of great blocking, but talk to me a little bit about his season and sort of what you saw out of Chase blocking for him this year.
I mean, I don't think we were surprised by his success. We know the kind of player he is. You can see how explosive he is, how hard he runs, and he just finishes runs the right way, dude. He gets downhill and runs through people, and that combined with his speed, he's a serious weapon.
Yep. Ted, how do you evaluate the season overall? Obviously, lots of ups and downs. Didn't get to where you wanted to, but I mean, on offense, you guys were an elite offense. You really finished the season strongly. Did everything that you could down the stretch.
I think it was great to finish with 5 straight wins. At least put ourselves in an interesting final Sunday, even though the Chiefs laid down for the Broncos. But you know, we got to start. We got to start faster. We can't play in a 3-game hole. I think that, you know, that's officially something that's on our back. That's something as a, you know, captain that I'm going to be really, you know, cognizant of just to see how we can maybe, you know, change that mojo up a little bit.
It is a weird thing because year in and year out, you guys are always one of the most talented teams, top to bottom, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But it feels like every year you guys you have a weird loss, and you're like suddenly you're looking up and you guys are 2-4, you're 1-3, and everyone's like, wait, we thought these guys were going to be Super Bowl contenders, and now they're in a hole. And then you guys always go on a run, and you always make it interesting at the end. But what do you attribute that to?
It's just about executing plays. You look at all those games, and really on both sides of the ball, most of those games we had opportunities to win. We had opportunities to close it on offense or on defense, and we just didn't get it done. And it's usually close games that we didn't make the play when we had to, and that's how the season goes, dude. Most games, most weeks, it's going to be a 1-score game, and you got to make those plays.
Yep. Lots of superstar skill position players on the Bengals naturally. Jamar Chase, obviously Joe Burrow, quarterback. Is there anyone under the radar on your team that you think can have a big year next year that maybe people don't really know about as much?
I think Yoshi, Andre Yoshivas. I think Mike G thrives in our offense. You know, those two guys I think are really dynamic, especially with Joe pulling the trigger for him.
And it's just about opportunities. When you're feeding Jamar and T like you should, it might be harder for those guys, but you've seen them step up when they have to, for sure.
Well, I know the answer is you hope so, but Ted, any thoughts on whether T. Higgins is coming back or not? I don't know if you've talked to him at all, if you get any sense of that. I know that's going to be one of the big storylines for Cincinnati in the offseason.
Unfortunately, T has not given me his personal scoop, but you know, I think that
it would be good for Bounty if he did. That would be something you guys could dine out on.
It would be good. I think that Joe's been a pretty good wingman in the media, kind of stumping for, you know, what he wants, and you know, I think that's important for Joe as he grows up in his career. You know, he is, you know, the leader of this franchise, and you know, to be a part of, you know, some of those processes, at least communicating that what he wants is very important. So I hope that, you know, our organization makes it happen.
Yep. Alex, you guys played both of the teams in the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. I think you should have beaten the Chiefs. Suspect call on 4th and 16 there at the end with the interference. But what makes these teams so special, and who do you think is going to win?
I can't give you a prediction on who's going to win, but you've seen in the close games, the Chiefs, they always find a way to win those games. So if it's close, I mean, it's tough. They just always find a way. Whether it's clean or sloppy, they find a way to win. And then the Eagles, they did what they do best. They got ahead, and once they get ahead on you, they're tough to deal with. So there's really the two ways I see that game going.
Ted, I think one of the keys to this game will be the line play. I think, honestly, straight up, you probably take 15 over Jalen Hurts, right? But at the end of the day, like, the Eagles have an elite defensive line, and the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line has struggled at times this year. They've also dealt with some injuries. How do you see the lines for both these teams playing out?
Well, I think, Andy Reid being such a great coach, bumping out future Hall of Famer Joe Thuney to left tackle has really stabilized that line. Special friend, special player. I think, Creed and Trey are also very good. But I think Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Zach Bond in the middle, they were hard to deal with, in my opinion. I think the Philly game, when I look back at this season, was kind of the one game where we really, I felt, got beat. It wasn't one of those one-score games where we didn't make a play here, didn't make a play there. They came in to Cincinnati and beat us, so that bothers me still. But I think they're gonna be hard to deal with. I'm rocking Bounty Green, but this is also my statement for Philly. Let's go. I don't want Pat to catch Tom. I'm a Tom Brady guy.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
Well, both of you guys won Super Bowl rings with Tom Brady on different teams, which is sort of it's kind of a unique thing. Talk to me a little about some of the, Alex, I'll start with you. Some of the conversation has been, if Patrick Mahomes wins here on Sunday, 3 straight Super Bowls, 4 under the age of 29, is he the greatest of all time? Is he better than Tom Brady? And so I'm curious, as somebody who has been around greatness with Brady, been around greatness with Burrow, played against Mahomes, curious how you break that all down.
To me, it's tough because you see on social media, there's always look at their first 9 years compared or whatever. But what makes Tom so good is he did it for 20-something years.
Yeah.
So it's tough to anoint someone. I mean, if Mahomes is still doing this when he's 40, you definitely could have that conversation. So to me, that's kind of what separates him when you talk about the GOAT conversation.
I made that exact argument the other day when somebody said that to me, that they thought if Mahomes wins, he's the greatest of all time. I'm like, all due respect to Patrick, who's unbelievable, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he never throws another pass in the NFL, right? But Tom did it in his 20s, Tom did it in his 40s. Tom did it with 2 different coaches. Yeah. He did it with the Edelman types, and he did it with the Randy Moss's type. Not that Randy won a Super Bowl, but you know what I mean? He had completely different players, and Pat's had Kelsey and Reed his entire career, right?
And Tom got better for 20 years.
Yeah.
He didn't fall off. He kept getting better, and you've never really seen someone do that. So let's maybe talk again in 8 years, and we'll see where we're at.
The three-peat factor is something that would be a feather in Mahomes' cap at the end of his career. No one's ever done it, and I think that he'll be judged on the next 10 years as well, though. Like Tom, I think we're missing a lot of context to anoint him as a better QB.
Yeah. I think the thing is too is that I think Tom's second last year in Tampa, he's the runner-up for MVP behind Aaron Rodgers that year, I think in 2021. So just to be able to play at that level, he wasn't. I mean, he went out still playing at the highest level. He didn't tail off and was just hanging on at the end. I want to ask you guys, Alex, about going up against Steve Spagnuolo and his defense, which you would have gone up against a ton over the years. Is that just a different week to most going up against the Spags defense?
I think it's really about formulating a plan, and our coaches always did a good job of that. And once you have a plan and you can kind of categorize their defense and their blitzes, it really helps you see it better. When you don't have the game plan, it looks like there's a lot going on out there, but you can do a good job of kind of simplifying it into packages and what you expect from those different packages.
I want to take one moment here just because we talk so much about Tom Brady and we talk about Patrick Mahomes, but I want to talk a little bit about Joe Burrow. What's something that we all see the brilliance on Sundays. We see the amazing plays, the extending of plays, finding guys in which, he's dead here, and then next thing you know, Jamar Chase is running down the field, right? What's something that we as fans watching at home don't understand or realize about Joe?
I think just his attention to detail. I know, Cap, I'll let you, you mentioned your favorite play from the season earlier, talking about that.
I mean, earlier we were asked about my favorite play, and I said 4th and 1 against Denver. Joe checks to a play that he had mentioned as speed option. He had mentioned weeks ago, hey, just be aware, it's on the table. We never practiced it. We never ran it. We didn't talk about it. 4th and 1 season on the line, he checks to it and we get a first down. And that's he's always got that stuff on his mind, the attention to detail. When we're doing walkthroughs and he tells the receiver, hey, you could bend that a little bit flatter against this defense or whatever it is. He's very detail-oriented. Yep. He's not just out there scrambling and slinging it, which it might look like sometimes.
Yeah, I think one thing, the play that I remember most from Joe this season was that 50-yard touchdown run against the Giants, because you forget that he does have wheels and he can take off and hurt you with his legs too. Ted, can you tell us about your partnership with Bounty?
Yeah, so we're the Bounty Wingmen.
Yeah.
You can't have football without wings.
True.
And you can't have wings without bounty.
And that's what we're here. We're
if
hanging
you're worried
out.
about getting dirty, the bounty will keep you clean.
That's a good point. Smart.
These wings are good too.
I bet they are.
Yeah, no,
I bet they are.
Off air, you can have one.
All right,
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll get out of my my nice clothes here and go to town. And if anything happens badly, I've got bounty here. Ted Karras, Alex Cappa. I know the season didn't go the way you wanted to, but Bengals are fun to root for. Continued success for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Big
Thanks
year
for having us.
2025. Thank you guys.
There you go.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.